All right, so today we are going to show you how to pour up an impression in stone. So we have our stone already out, we have our water, and of course we have our alginate impression with our spatulas. So the first thing is with stone, any office I've ever worked in, they do not have the proper measurement out for stone. We all know alginate is 1-to-1 scoop with water. Stone, the measurements come in the package, but then of course what happens is the box gets thrown away. Nobody keeps track of it. So a lot of places you work in, stone is basically eyeball mix. So we have a couple scoops of stone out. We have our water. So keep in mind, you want to make sure you're wearing a mask because just like the alginate, the stone, the alginate, it gives off a cloud of dust, and that is something that you can breathe in, which we want to avoid. So we are going to add some water, and we're going to start to mix. Now we don't want to be too aggressive right out of the gate because what happens is that stone comes back, and you can see that cloud, all that dust. That's exactly what I was talking about. That's what we want to make sure that we're not breathing in. And then when you mix this, we're trying to get almost like a peanut butter consistency is what we're hoping for here. So like I said, I'm not being too aggressive at first because I don't want to wear this stone, whether it's powder or the water, because it is more of a hard consistency versus the alginate. There we go. So we got some nice consistency going. So now you want to make sure your impression's dry. Make sure there's no water in there because that can lead to bubbles. So make sure you blow it out with some air or even just shake it off. Make sure it's ready to go. So our stone's ready. We're going to turn on our vibrator. And then for this, I like to use a thinner spatula to kind of feed the stone in. And I'm going to turn it on its side, and we're going to let that stone kind of run from top to bottom and vibrate in there. We're going to move that around. I'm going to turn it up a little bit more. And what we're doing is we want to make sure the stone is going everywhere we need it to. And at the same time, we want to make sure that no bubbles are forming. See that bubble back here? We want to make sure we pop those. Okay, and I always put a paper towel down because obviously we don't need that stone going all over our machine. Okay, so I'll give it one more time here on the vibrator just to ensure it goes good. Okay, I'll turn that off. All right, so next, what we're gonna do is we're going to make our base because in this particular video, we're gonna show you how to invert an impression. The next video I put together, I'm just gonna show you how to pour up a model and then we're gonna invert after it's set. So, we wanna create a patty. Too much stone here. We don't need all that. Otherwise your base will be too thick and then you're going to be left cutting it. Okay. And it's almost like I'm just making a shape of the arch. Now if I'm doing a mandibular, you can actually cut out the tongue portion. All right. So now we're going to invert our model. And then we just want to make sure that our base is actually touching, but in the same sense, I don't want to bury it. So you see how I'm going back through and I'm making sure that the stone doesn't lock. Because when we go to pull this off, if the stone comes over the impression tray, it'll lock on there and there's a good chance that it would break. So Now, we got to give it some time to set. If you're not familiar with stone, pouring up stone, it acts just like alginate in a sense of it's temperature based. So if you use warm or hot water, it sets faster, which obviously gives you less playtime. So keep that in mind. It's getting to be the end of the night. You might want to use a little bit warmer water to get it set faster for you. So we'll check back on this and I will show you the results later.